Hey guys, how are we doing today? Today's video, I wanted to make it all centered around GAC. I haven't done a video like this in a little while, and I thought it'd be a great time to publish one of these because on Wednesday, today's video will be on Tuesday. Wednesday, we have some more 5v5 GAC coming at us. So I thought I'd post a video day before the lock happens so I can give you guys some little teams and some maybe the guide to follow for this next season of 5v5. This is going to be more centered around like something that I have for my roster of characters. So this is going to be a bit more tailored towards the higher end players rather than like the lower to middle end players. So I definitely think though there's a lot to learn here in terms of new teams in 5v5. I mean, it's been a long time since we've had 5v5 and there's a lot of teams that have kind of came into play. I want to say like last 5v5 is like when Lord Vader was like barely released or barely people like were getting him, so there's been a lot of changes. So I kind of tweak some teams to like help in countering some of those, and just trying to make sure that we have enough to full clear and still get high enough banners. So let's go into it. Coming over to the collection, coming over to the squads. So I forget. I'm in Division 1 now. I just noticed I'm at 7.5 million GP, so I might have to set an extra team, which I didn't really account for. This is more for Division 2, but I'm sure I have plenty of teams in here for defenses. The main thing here for defenses we'll go over later. We're going to start off with offenses. The main thing with defense is you got to still, in my opinion, you guys, always set at least, if you are in a Division 1 bracket, set 2 GLs. I think that's like a very, very solid game plan for most people in that bracket because you're still setting a GL or a couple GLs while keeping your own. It kind of keeps the battle, it's not like, you're cheesing your entire board, right? Setting 2 GLs, or setting no GLs rather by, setting everything else just really crap on defense. But like it puts some pressure onto the opponent if they do happen to cheese you, and then they like have to fight through your 2 GLs. They can drop some banners. Meanwhile, you never dropped any banners if they cheesed your board and they set absolutely no GLs and made it super easy to full clear, right? So in my opinion, I think it's just a lot safer, a lot better to set at least 1 to 2 GLs, no matter like where you are in Division 3, 2, or 1. It depends like how much GLs that you have, because you don't want to be setting literally every single one on defense unless you're a dick. I mean, you could do that too, but I mean, it's probably going to be a bit more tough of a win. I like to make sure that I have more opportunity to win. So that's why I set a couple while I keep a couple 2 to 3 GLs. Right now I have 5. I'm working on Lord Vader, so soon to be 6. Anyways, let's go into it, guys. This might be a little bit long video. Anyways, here we go. Starting off with GLs, actually. Let's move Padme down a little bit. And there we go. So starting off with GLs. GLs are definitely important these days. They just are. So we got to go start off with Master Kenobi. This is a team that can still kill some Kylos you might happen to see, some Rays. The main guy here is really Cam Daddy with Ahsoka. They are so good. And then you got Kenobi, of course. And then you have like a Mace Windu. He kind of takes up Kenobi, GK's John Kenobi's tank position. And then you have Ayla Secura here with some more assisting and some more critical hits while she is stunning them as well. So it's super nice. I wouldn't say this one is like a for sure. It probably wouldn't win in a mirror match. You probably got to swap some things up, but this is more tailored towards first order counters and even some Rays. It's like a nice little team to keep just in case. And also, like I said earlier, with the cheesing of boards, you might not even have to use a full team. You might just be able to pull off a solo. So it's just kind of nice to have him around, right? So there you go, Master Kenobi. Next up is going to be Master Luke. This one's definitely going to be tailored more towards either Master Kenobi counters, even Lord Vader, mirror matches possibly. And then, for other GLs, we're talking about like Rays and even Kylos. You can really swap it up between this composition and even some of these guys up top with Kenobi. You might want to even consider taking Cam down and moving up some other guys, or even possibly taking away Revan and Luke altogether, JKL that is, and making a third separate Jedi team. It kind of depends on what the guy sets on you, but usually this is more of a pretty hard-hitting team with all these different Jedi. Again, this is mostly against those Lord Vaders. You have really 2 cleanses plus a third if you count Luke's ultimate as one. Super good and super easy counter against Lord Vaders, and also against Kenobi's too. So I definitely love this counter. And even if you don't use Shock T, and like I said, even the Revan or Luke, you can make up even that much more teams for you in the GAC. So it just kind of gives you some more options, I guess you can say. So that is it. I guess not all of it. I forgot about the Emperor in terms of GLs. Emperor is always going to be on the offense in terms of GAC these days, just because he can solo a lot of stuff still and give you some nice high banners. Defensively, not really going to be doing you that much good, because people usually do set GLs and rather do keep GLs, so he's going to be getting a one-shot anyway, so it doesn't matter, right? So just keep him for offense for some nice easy wins. If you happen to fight a Ray, you can keep him with Watt. And the armor, you can kill some Rays there, so it's nice to have that as an option. So that's GLs, just 3 GLs we're talking about for GAC. Next up, let's go over some more non-GL teams that are still very, very effective. Right here, we do have Commander Ahsoka with Padme, but again, we don't have to use Commander Ahsoka just in Padme. She can go back up to Kenobi's if you need to use her for a Kenobi team. We just want to have her for offense, to have her being a flex offensive powerhouse as a 5th. Right now, we're going to use her Padme. Just kind of, if the guy does set those various GLs. Like in this instance, I have it planned to go and kill a Kylo and a Lord Vader or a Master Kenobi, and then I can use this chick elsewhere, which is super nice, giving me even that much more banners and easier wins. So you can definitely use her here, but this team can kill so much. I mean, you can kill, I think, gases, and kill possibly even some... what's it called, like some Kenobis too. It can be a lot of stuff. I probably wouldn't take this against the GL these days, but versus most everything else, I would be very, very confident in using this team. This is a super strong team, especially if you have them with high relics. So there you go there. Next up is Gas. Gas, these days you can use him either way, offense or defense. In my opinion, I like him on the offensive just because it's like a guaranteed win. I don't have to worry about it too much. And if you set this guy on defense, people love keeping your CLS, right? So you're going to probably get a nice, easy counter by CLS and the Rebels. So why not just, don't even worry about that and just keep him for offense? Easy peasy win. You might lose some banners, but it's like a guaranteed win. And if you have a guy who just sets a cheesy defense, well, guess what? You can get a nice, easy solo out of it too. So it's super fantastic. I love it. Next up is some Bounty Hunters. So now we're getting into some more variations of teams. We're going to have some more mixing and matching here, depending on what you have in your own roster. So ideally, we want to be using, actually, Aura Singh in the leadership here. But guess what? My Aura is atrocious. So this is the ideal team to use. This can kill some Padmes. It can kill some Beskar Mando teams. So on and so forth with some of those really annoying teams. Basically, Aura's leadership is fantastic, because honestly, it could be worth getting even at low star, which I still might do, but pretty much easy contract, easy kills. But if you don't see yourself being able to, counter a team with Aura, I would go back to either a Jango Fett lead or a Bosk lead. Bosk lead with Fennec is actually phenomenal. Even at a low star count, Fennec can be really good here. It kind of speeds up the process of the contract to get it off faster. And then you get a nice little Annihilate with the Mandalorian. Still good regardless. Just kind of depends on what you have. For me, this is what I got, so I'm going to rock with that. Okay, next up is going to be Troopers. Very simple. I don't have Dark Trooper. If I did, I would take out, I want to say it's Death for Dark here, and toss back in Dark and get some easier wins. Those can counter a bit more teams out there. For example, Darth Evans. Darth Evans, you might be seeing a lot more of on defense, so stay tuned for counting some of those Darth Evans. And also, coming back up here to the Bosk, the Aura team can if you outspeed them for the Darth Evans, and also even the Padme. So we have some options already, and Gas. Next up here is a bit of a fun team. I don't have it built up all the way for myself, but I do intend to down the line once I get Lord Vader built up. So this is more of an offensive team. This is a powerhouse of a team. As we can see here, I have Beskar Mando in here. I don't have Beskar Mando in a defensive team here because I find that this team is very strong on the offensive. From what I've seen, it can kill some GLs, and if you have them modded the same way, they can kill even that much more. I'm not sure what else to say about this team. You pretty much have Maul here with Canderous and then the kind of Mandalorians. And with Watt's tech, you give it out to the Maul first or even somebody else, and then it procs Maul's bonus turn with a Frenzy, and then the whole train just starts right there. It can kill a lot of stuff, okay? It can kill a lot of stuff, and the nicest thing about this team, in my opinion, is that it gives you some good banners, especially with Watt here with his techs to give him even more protection and health recovery. It's a phenomenal team. It is a bit cost-effective in terms of how much gear you need to put forth into making this team even that, work in at all, making it viable. But if you do have it built up, go for it. If you don't have it built up at all, kind of just scrap it. Don't worry about this. Use some other teams because we have a lot more to go for in today's video. Keeping it going, we have Sea and Rebels. This one's pretty simple, straightforward to the point. Kill gases and kill some Grievouses, kill some clones. It kills a lot. You guys know the drill with the clone or with the Rebels. Not much to go into there. Next up is some Bad Batch. So for this one, Bad Batch, you want to have these main 4, right? But if you have Omega, toss in Omega. I don't really have her built up at all whatsoever, so I'm going to just use Barriss here. But also, if we have the opportunity to use Shaak Ti, and if we're not using Shaak Ti in a different counter, then you can use Shaak Ti right into here and plug her in as a 5th under the Bad Batch. And that's a phenomenal team as well, giving even that much more banners because of Shaak Ti's protection recovery. But for now, we're using Barriss. It's a great team offense. Kills a lot, too. Next up is Vader and the Empire. This is another pretty straightforward team, as before mentioned with, like, the Rebels. You see these guys a lot on offense. Still very good, even though we can't really use these guys against Geos anymore. Definitely very good still, guys. I know people use them a lot against Geos. It's a pretty, easy, straightforward counter. Mon Mothma teams. It's a good, easy counter. And it has some, different uses. It's not just like one team you're going to be using or going to be countering it against. There's a lot more uses these days with Vader. So that's nice. And then, of course, we have JTR. JTR can be added in some more teams or some more characters from the Resistance. For example, R2 from the Padme up above. We don't have to use this exact team. We can use some different alterations and variations. But for now, just consider it the JTR team, right? Next up is Night Sisters, and this is our last offensive team for this video. Night Sisters are Night Sisters, okay? They can kill some Grievouses, they can kill some other good teams. I would just not set these guys on defense in a 5v5 GAC because they will get throttled by so much and give your opponent easy banners. Plus, if you want to, you can actually save a Kylo and possibly kill a Master Kenobi with the Night Sister Zombie and Old Daka. So that's a nice combo too if you want to keep them for offense. But for me, probably going to be a more go-to counter for like a Grievous if I see a Grievous, which I still do see a lot of Grievouses these days. Okay, so that's the first little bit of the video, the first half of offenses. Next up, let's go over defenses. So, starting off with GLs, Kylo and Rey. These ones are my favorite. If I had Lord Vader, I would toss him in as well, but I don't have him. I would definitely say that right now, the most impactful GLs for defenses are Kylo, Rey, and also Lord Vader. Those are just, in my opinion, the best GLs for defenses. The teams that, compose it, they're just very good. So here, we're going to be using Kylo, Hux, FOST, Stormtrooper, and then Phasma with Sith Trooper. So this team, it's pretty good. You have a Kylo that does his little poke or whatever he does first, his AoE. And then you have Hux. I about said the wrong word there. We have Hux there, and then he can give out the TM or the bonus turn back to Kylo. If we have a fast enough Phasma, though, we can actually make her go in between these guys and speed up them even that much more. So it's good to have Phasma here, and then Sith Trooper, of course, for the extra assists, and then Stormtrooper for the taunt. So it's a good team there. And we can actually keep a different first order team for the defenses because guess what? We are going to have more defenses. So keeping it going, Rey with the bros, L3, and then a random 5th taunt. You can use a JTR here. You could use a Zabar. You can use whoever the heck you want, really. You could even toss in the armor. But this team is definitely a good team to still have for the defenses. It's a Rey. Reys are annoying, especially since, Vader's changes and all those non-GL counters. Definitely good to have this guy on defense or this gal on defense. So there we go there. Next up is Darth Evan. Again, this is a bit more dependent on what you have and what you usually will be fighting. This is going to stop trooper teams because we got Nest here, right? Nest stops trooper teams. But if you don't really want to use Nest here, you can toss in a full Sith Empire with like Taunt, the Sith Empire Trooper, or maybe like an HK. It doesn't really matter. Just want to keep having either a Nest here to stop the troopers or whatever, just depending on what your guy sets, right? Or what he usually counters with the Darth Evan. It depends, okay? So that's that. Darth Evan, still a good defensive team. Next up, though, is another Sith team, But this is Darth Maul lead with the Triumvirate plus 1 extra Sith. I like Dooku here because he's Relic 8 because of the Lord Vader requirements. But this is a good team as well because Maul speeds him up even that much more and can throw off a lot of different counters because of the extra Isolate and the Nihilist being able to go before with the extra TM based off of Maul's leadership. So it can be really annoying and dicey and definitely can cause some banner loss, which I love. And most of these teams, guys, will be causing banner loss. That's just what we want to have. Next up is Grievous with Newt. You could even toss in BB-8 here if you want instead of Newt and use a different team for Newt. But for now, I like Newt because he's Relic 7. He's nice to have here. Pretty simple, straightforward. You can even toss those guys back on offense and use that against a counter. I like him on defense at the moment. Next up is the First Order. And now this is where we're going to be getting some more of these really crappy B to C tier teams in our GAC for defenses, okay? Because we want to make sure first and foremost that we can full clear and get some nice juicy high banners. So this is with the First Order. No Hux, no FOST. It's pretty simple with the Executioner, the Special Forces. Not even gonna try to make that into an acronym. And then Officer and OG Kylo. Pretty simple. Mon Mothma. This one could get better depending on what you have. I know that K2 and Cassian are a solid combo here, but this is what I got to work with. So I like this one for the moment. It can be a good team at times. Sometimes it doesn't. Most times it's like that anyways. Next up is Geos with Droideka. Again, another kind of filler team for the defenses. Nothing too crazy here. And then we got some more fillers in with Bounty Hunters and Jedi and with Resistance. So not really much to go for after here, guys. But this is like what it would look like for what we have leftovers. Usually not much, but if you have to like clean up a team on offense, you still have a good chunk to use. I would actually have these Jedi here be safe for offense because you also might have the opportunity to use Bastila lead with Cam, like with Hermit, and to kill another good team on offense. That's a good team, so I actually might save that for offense, but everything else here is more defensive oriented. Anyways, that's about it, guys. I think these ones, the ones that are like the most important to go after right now are like the GLs and like what what GLs you're able to set on defense. Because if you can set some of those gooder, I just said gooder. If you guys can set some of those better defenses for GLs, then you're just going to make it a bit more harder for your opponent to full clear or get nice banners on, right? So we want to do that first and foremost while also keeping our good high banner win teams for offense. So gotta, just make sure you know what you have in your own roster and your own inventory. And then, once you have that all figured out, you can kind of, mess around with some of these different teams, offense and defense. But this is what I'm probably going to be using for this next GAC, guys. If this was helpful at all to you, let me know. Let me know down below in the comments. And if you guys have any different teams that you guys are going to be setting or keeping for this next GAC, let me know as well down below. But that's about it, guys. Thanks for watching. Until next time, I will see you later. Peace out and have a good one. Bye, guys.